In the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, where the air was crisp and the scent of pine wafted like a gentle whisper, lay the town of Ironwood, a quaint settlement steeped in legend and mystery. The most enduring of these legends was the phenomenon known as the lights on Black Ridge. For generations, residents spoke in hushed tones about spectral orbs that danced above the dark forest, flickering in shades of soft gold and eerie electric blue. Official explanations ranged from the absurd to the scientific, yet the locals, with their weathered hands and wise eyes, knew the truth. They called them witchfire or haint lights, and warned travelers not to seek them out. Then came Sam, a freelance photographer with an adventurous spirit and a firm heart. He had made a career out of skepticism, hoping to expose myths under the glaring light of reason. His latest project, American Anomalies: Debunking the Myths, drove him to Black Ridge, where he intended to document the lights and unravel their truth. To guide him, Eli McCabe, an elderly man whose family had thrived in the valley since the 1700s, stepped forward. Eli was a living relic, his skin as worn as the mountains, his eyes reflecting deep, ancient wisdom. "I'll take you to the old logging trail," Eli said, his voice a rumble like distant thunder as they loaded Sam's Jeep with high-tech gear. "But I ain't going up with you after sundown, and you shouldn't either." Sam brushed off the warning with a confident smile. "Superstition, Eli. I'll just record some data. It's likely just bioluminescent fungus or mineral deposits reacting to the atmosphere." Eli's gaze was unwavering. "It ain't what they are, son. It's why they are. My pappy told me, and his pappy told him. Them lights are a lure. They show you what you want to see, to get you lost in the deep dark. And the deep dark, it remembers." Sam chuckled, dismissing Eli's words as the product of a simple mind woven with folklore. As they hiked up the rugged trail, the forest enveloped them in a hushed serenity. Ancient trees loomed overhead, their gnarled branches forming a thick canopy that shrouded the world beneath in twilight. The air was heavy, and Sam felt a creeping unease, a whisper of danger that he resolutely attributed to Eli's tales. Reaching a flat clearing near the crest, the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in bloody hues. Eli pointed to a jagged outcrop of rock obscured by trees. "They usually appear just past there, over the old Miller homestead. Ain't nothing left of it but foundation stones and memories. Bad memories." He turned to leave. "I'll be back at first light. You follow this trail back down if you change your mind. Don't wander off it, for God's sake." As Eli's footsteps faded into the silence, Sam felt a heavy stillness settle around him. The excitement of the chase ignited within him, battling against the chill that crept into the air as night fell, enveloping him in an inky blackness. Hours passed with nothing but the sound of his own heartbeat echoing in the deep quiet. Just as he contemplated packing up, a soft golden glow blossomed in the distance, the ethereal light Eli had spoken of. It pulsed gently, weaving through the trees with an intelligence that made Sam's heart race. This was it. He fumbled for his camera, excitement coursing through his veins. Subject is a single luminous orb, approximately 1 foot in diameter. No audible sound. Movement is not random. It appears inquisitive. He whispered into his recorder, his voice barely a breath. The light hovered, then drifted deeper into the woods. Rational thought gave way to impulse, and ignoring Eli's warning, Sam broke the one rule he had vowed to follow. He followed it. The light leading him further into the forest, the path winding and elusive. As he pressed on, the trees twisted into agonized shapes, the air turned frigid, and a coppery scent invaded his nostrils. His equipment began to fail. His camera flickered with static, and his EM detector screamed before dying abruptly. Panic gripped him, but he pressed onward until he caught sight of the Miller homestead's crumbling foundation, framed by trees. In the center of the ruins, the golden light transformed into something far more profound, a window into a warm kitchen. A woman in a pioneer dress kneaded dough, her back turned to him, while a man read by the fireplace. The smell of baking bread wafted through the air, drawing out a deep ache of longing within Sam. It was everything he, a lonely traveler, secretly craved. But then, the image shattered. The man's face morphed into a skull, empty sockets staring into his soul, while the woman turned, her twisted mouth opening in a silent scream. The warm light faded, replaced by the cold, blue glow of the orb. It had shown him his desires, only to unveil the horrific truth. Terror seized him, pure and primal. He stumbled back, desperate to escape, but the woods had become a labyrinth. Every direction looked the same. The blue light was no longer alone. Dozens of other lights emerged from the shadows, converging on him, pulsating in a slow, rhythmic pattern that made the ground beneath him shift. Flickering images seeped into his vision. Faces of a pioneer family, frozen in terror, dragged into the shadows by unseen hands. A hunter from a century past, firing wildly at the lights, his eyes gouged out in horror. Hikers from the 80s screaming as they fell, exhausted. The lights were not just a lure. They were a record, a library of souls lost to the mountain, their final moments replayed for eternity. Eli's words echoed in his mind. The deep dark, it remembers. The cold energy of the lights raised the hairs on his arms as whispers filled his mind, a cacophony of lost voices, pleading and screaming for release. A profound chill seeped into him, deeper than the night, as he realized they would add him to their collection, his fear becoming an exhibit in this museum of the damned. He ran, driven by pure instinct, tumbling down a steep incline, rocks tearing at his skin as he cried out into the dark. Once at the bottom, he gasped for breath, peering through the darkness, and saw the logging trail just a few yards away. He didn't stop until he crashed into Eli's cabin as dawn broke, bruised and bleeding. Eli, calm and steady, sat him by the wood stove, handing him a strong cup of whiskey, listening as Sam spilled his terrified story in broken fragments. When he finished, Eli merely nodded, understanding in his gaze. "I told you," he said softly. "It remembers, and now it remembers you." Sam never wrote his book. The footage on his cameras became a chaotic blur of static, devoid of any truth. He moved to the city, as far from mountains and forests as he could get. Yet sometimes, on the brink of sleep, he glimpsed a faint glow from the periphery of his dark apartment, accompanied by whispers of the lost, a reminder that the deep, dark memory of Black Ridge had followed him home. It knew his name and was patient, waiting for the perfect moment to reclaim the rest of